Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Voice of Crypto, your number one resource, your number one news media channel for all things crypto, Web3, and blockchain. Today, as we start this week, we saw an interesting narrative sort of playing out in the crypto space, which was as most altcoins remained stable or did not note a lot of ups or downs in the market price wise. We saw two top meme coins, Dogecoin and, well, not Shiba Inu but Floki Inu, skyrocket on news around being accepted as a payment, or being taken into consideration as a payment method on X, that is Twitter. We will, of course, take a deep dive into these two meme coins, but before that, let's take a quick look at the crypto market, the larger crypto market cap, how the top cryptocurrencies have performed over the last week. Well, at the time of this show, we can clearly see that the global crypto market cap has increased by a minor 0.91% in the last one day. Nonetheless, we can see that volumes have massively dipped. Anywhere around 50 billion is considered decently active in the crypto market. But at this moment, we can see that the total crypto market volumes were about down by 43% and were around the 31 billion US dollar mark, which is quite a bit of downtick from our usual 50 billion or so. So, not a lot of activity happening in the market, either for Bitcoin or altcoins, as we can clearly see. Bitcoin dominance has also dropped by um, as a little bit, but we can see. But what's concerning here is that BTC dominance has dropped below the 50% mark, which personally I feel is a key support resistance mark for BTC. And while it's not a lot to worry about because it's not way off that particular psychological support, we can expect an uptick in BTC dominance as soon as there's more capital flowing into Bitcoin. That said, Bitcoin price, while has stabilized now, we already know that BTC price touched about 40.6K on quite a few exchanges and went down to as low as the 40,000 US dollar support. In the last one day or so, there's not been a lot of movement on Bitcoin price. On the weekly, we can see BTC price is down by around 2.4%. Ethereum is down by 2.3%. BNB is still maintaining a very decent, uh, rather minutely bullish trajectory in the market, with its 1.6% gains on the daily and over 4% gains on the weekly. Solana has managed to gain a little bit in the market, but it's still down by over 5% on the weekly. XRP down by 4.20% on the weekly. Cardano again down by 4.7%. Dogecoin, as we can clearly see here, has been rallying, has rallied by over 11% on the daily price window. Avalanche has increased by over 2% on the daily. Tron has seen a very good uh, Tron has sort of maintained its price action but hasn't been able to gain, or thankfully not lost a lot of price. But again, not a lot of activity happening on Tron at the moment. Same goes for Chainlink, Polkadot, Toncoin. Polygon's managed to increase a little bit on the daily, but we also already know that Celsius was to dump a lot of Matic in the market, and that could, of course, have an impact on Matic's long-term price action. Um, we can clearly see that not a lot of cryptocurrencies have sort of made any great moves, especially on the daily. But if we take a look at the weekly, Ronin, Flare, Astar, Python Network, Chili's, Sia Coin, and of course Dogecoin have been some of the key gainers in the last week. And it'll be interesting to see how these coins and their trajectories pan out throughout this week. But Python Network is a new entry in the top 100 by market cap, and it'll be interesting to see how Python Network's sort of trajectory is maintained? Is it able to maintain itself in the top 100 by market cap, or will it lose out on the traction and fall out of the 100 by market cap soon enough? That is something that remains to be seen on a day-to-day basis. If we see Dogecoin and Pyth network, as well as Ronin and Sia coin, are some of the top gainers. We also have Chili's and Astar, Flow, Frax, Arbitum, Injective, Gala, FTT token, of course, but we don't see a lot of the top altcoins in our top gainers by the weekly or the daily. Um, well, there are narratives of Dogecoin to the moon in the market at this point, but we more often than not, every now and then, do see Dogecoin rallying quite a bit owing to news around either Dogecoin's integration as a payment method on X. This happened a while back as well, and once again, we're seeing similar sorts of rumors, but this time it was an account called X Payments on X itself, where we saw this update about speculations around Dogecoin and Floki being approved as being approved for payments on X. But again, once again, this is just a rumor. It's not a news, and there is no clarity or there's no official information around whether this would happen or not. So be careful and make sure that that you do not fall prey at the hands of the narrative of buy the rumors, sell the news. That definitely happened during the time of the ETF. And we see this narrative playing out a lot in the cryptocurrency market. So beware of that. And now we'll quickly jump into the top news of the day. One of the biggest news of the market today was that Terraform Labs declared bankruptcy in Delaware. Terraform Labs recently lost a case when a US judge ruled that Luna and MIR are securities, and it is facing a class action lawsuit in Singapore. Terraforms has filed for a voluntary petition in Delaware for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, according to recent documents which were filed just yesterday. And the cryptocurrency firm behind the stablecoin Terra USD is Terraform Labs, and it was under the leadership of Du Kwon, who is currently who was caught in Montenegro after he was being chased by both the South Korean authorities as well as the US authorities. But the recent statement released by Terraform Labs says that the filing will allow the firm to execute its business plan while navigating ongoing legal proceedings, according to a representative litigation pending in Singapore and US litigation. Um, Terraform's founder, Du Kwon, is currently facing the prospect of a class action suit in Singapore, as well as a trial in the US from the US SEC regarding the collapse of Terra USD. In another news, Justin Sun's HTX restored services after being hit by a DDoS attack. Sun followed up around 15 minutes later saying that the services on HTX have been restored. The crypto exchange HTX and the HTX DAO, which is the decentralized autonomous organization, restored their services after it was hit by DDoS, which is a distributed denial of service attack on Friday. Um, Dustin Sun, of course, said that services were restored about 15 minutes after the outage on his X account. A DDoS attack is generally designed to force an online service offline by flooding it with many requests and consuming the capacity, um, wherein whichever service you're trying to make, or whichever service happens on a certain platform isn't able to go through, or legitimate requests aren't able to go through. That is something that happened on HTX was also hacked on November 10 last year, and that attack saw about 97 million stolen from the exchange and the blockchain protocol Heco chain. So Now, of course, HTX is out of danger and services are back on track. In another big news, JP Morgan recently said that there are no more than 50% chances of a spot Ether ETF approval by May. So there was a lot happening in the market in terms of Ether ETF approval, and there were a lot of narratives floating which said that once the BTC approval went through, we will, of course, see an Ether approval come in by May this year, that is May 2024. However, a recent JP Morgan report said that there are no more than 50% chances of a spot Ether approval by May this year. Lawsuits against the crypto exchanges offering staking services for proof of stake blockchains, including Ethereum, make approval for of a spot Ether more challenging. And until these cases are resolved, the investment bank said that there isn't a lot of optimism around the approval of a Bitcoin Ether ETF. That said, in another news, the crypto industry, of course, has cautiously welcomed the agreement on new EU AML rules. NFTs, DeFi, and outlawing privacy tools might be out, but for crypto firms, requirements for customers' checks might be more stringent than for banks and for policy watchers. So, this means that crypto firms will have to more actively work around requirements for customer checks going forward. Um, this is all in today's episode. With this, I will be wrapping our Monday weekly session. For more such updates, make sure to join Voice of Crypto's live session tomorrow around the same time. And in less than 1 hour, we will be going live with a really interesting guest. His name is John Trask. We will be taking a deep dive into AI, automation, and machine learning, and how it can aid Web3 growth. So if you want to be a part of that interesting conversation, make sure to join us in about 45 minutes on Voice of Crypto's YouTube, LinkedIn, and X. Thank you so much for joining us today. I will see you in less than 45 minutes for our weekly live session, and I will see you tomorrow around the same time for our daily live session. Until then, sit tight, hang in there. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.